up, people of YouTube? This is Cullis here.
Okay, what's up, people of YouTube? We have another deck profile here. This is a pretty recent one, mainly because I thought this deck did really good in testing. We haven't done any tournaments with this deck, but I just thought I'd do it anyway because we've been testing it around here with all the decks that we have and all. It's if you haven't looked at the title, it is Light, Nature, Water. It's an odd lineup of things, but it does work really well. It works almost like a control deck, but can easily go aggressive. It can, because like on the 8th turn it can on 8th turn it can probably break all your opponent's shields in one turn and then still be stabilized at that point. But what this deck is called like Angel's Control is what I was thinking of calling it, because the green is mainly just for ramp and the water is to draw, but it has creatures that help stabilize, like bouncing things sometimes. And Nature has the kill spells, and Light has the tapping ability, so it's like it kind of has this feel of trying to stabilize a bunch. So let's get into the profile. I think I'll start with let's go with water first. Water is all here for just draw. Let's go with creatures first. We have through Aqua Seneschal. Really good draw. You like swinging with him, and he opposes all aggro decks, so he definitely helps in this. And rush decks too, if you will. We have 2 Rusalkas, because I mean, Veil Vortex is another option for this deck because it's another trigger, but this provides enough body to help out with like killing Essence Elves or something. So this is a better option to Veil, but if you like having more triggers, put Veil instead of this guy. Either way, you still have pretty good chances of doing things. For spells, not many. We have 3 Logos Scan. Best draw card in the game. It does, well, in my eyes, it's just like always really good anytime. Good +1s that always help. We have a Spy Mission and a Crystal Memory for the last of the blue cards, and spells, if you will. This one's just for the shield trigger draw too, and this, you know, to get whatever I want. Usually I have to pay for it. Usually it has to be blue mana sometimes, but it still helps me out. You could probably put this for a Spy Mission, but I usually like to get whatever I want with Crystal Memory, and this is just always just a good +1, especially like in like first shields that you get that they hit. Really awesome. Green is also main purposed for like killing and ramping, so Razorhide, because it's also, like Seneschal, Razorhide is like a really good option for 3rd turn. It depends on how you feel during the game, and it really depends on what your hand, if you want to play Seneschal, Razorhide, or Logos. If your opponent is not being very aggressive, it's better to go with a Logos Scan, I guess. Or if your opponent is like it's like a control matchup, maybe just start breaking shields with like Razorhide or Aqua Seneschal to get ahead of him in the race to go ahead. But yeah, Razorhide's just really good ramp. I got up to, so I think Tom was pretty surprised, but I sprouted like 2nd turn, and then I Razorhide like 4th turn, and I was up to like 6 or 7 mana by the next turn, and he was like really scared afterwards. It was pretty good. We're only 2 sprouts because I hated 3. 3 was like really horrible, and I kept drawing them like later in the game. And we played like a whole ton of matches with this deck last night, and out of all of them, I got Sprout off twice, and it was all 2nd turn, and everything after, I was just like, why? Because one time a Logo scanned in like 2 of them, and I was like, these could be any card in the whole game, and I would have liked it even more. It doesn't even have to be in my color, and I would have loved them more, but 2 sprouts is fine. If you draw them both first turn, that's probably the best thing you're ever going to see. Because one goes in mana, second turn you get more mana, and then like 4th turn, then 5th turn you have your angels. And you're out racing your opponent already. So Sprout is technically okay in this deck, but if I had to put it out, and it's been doing good with it. But if it started doing bad out of like 12 matches or so, and I didn't like it, then I would definitely change it out. Or 12 games, if you will, which is only 4 matches. Anyway, rounding up the green spells, we have 2 Return to Soil. It can easily be taken out for a 3rd one, but it's been doing so well. We haven't encountered too many. When we put Gale Flame up against this deck, it got walled by a bunch of things. We have our 3 Root Traps, of course, because 3 Root Trap, Terror Pit, almost best removal in the game. So it comes short to Terror Pit, and that rounds off the spell cap for green. That's 10 cards blue, 10 cards green, and there should be 20 cards yellow. So there are times when you have a game where you don't have blue, but you have green, and then you're just ramping. And then there's times where you don't have green, but you have blue, so you're drawing more cards into your green section. It works a lot like that very well. For yellow, we have blockers, creatures, finishers, and 1 spell. Been thinking about trying another spell, but this has just been a great lineup. Too great. We have 3 Sunstock Seed for early blockage, and late game for like jumping. It really helps out, no matter what, really. Still a good blocker. Can get sniped very easily, but it's still a good blocker, no matter how they're trying to kill it. That reminds you that it's good. Star Lantern, because 1 tech Star Lantern, because it's really good 2 blocker. Blocking 2 creatures is always good. That saves you at least 2 shields. So a 3 mana 3000 that can save you 2 shields or a creature or so, then that's pretty good in my book. And you only need 1, really. If you have more, then it's like you're overflowing on 3 turns. Why are you doing this? We have 2 Keeper of Dawn as our last blockers. They block Gale Flame. They block a lot of 5000. Neptus is a thing sometimes. We don't have Neptus in our decks, but I'm sure it can block that. Yeah, Essence Elf, of course, is the thing with that. Also, this can block Medusa, which is pretty awesome if they're trying to Medusa your Keeper of Clouds, which is pretty good. Now for the Angel section, we have 2 Twilight Commander, or Twihard Commander, and we have 2 Starwing. This combos off sometimes. Like, it gets pretty well in late game when you have like blockers that are out there that are bigger than your opponent's creatures. So you swing it through blocker, then you swing with this guy, untap your blocker. You have your blocker just got saved, and you got a shield also, and their field is at least cleared or something like that. Starwing gets over hyperspeed and other things, so you can probably play like Starlight Strategist 6th turn and just kill their engine right off the bat. It's just a really overall good. They're both really good angels to have for 6th turn, especially if you want to go into Ravu that early. We have 3 Starlight Strategists. Oh, whoa, that's not a Starlight Strategist. This is a Starlight Strategist. We have 3 of them because one of the best angels in the game right now does really good. Provides a body and probably kills one of their creatures. And of course, we all know they stack, so it is definitely a good card, like in that opposition. We have 2 finishers just in case you run out of Ravus or something. We have Alcadius and we have Ravu, the Seeker of Lightning. What do you know? Ravu is really good blocker. 500 power sometimes matters. But most of the time, you don't like blocking most of the time with him. Especially if they run Bolt Tail, and especially if they run like anything over 6,500. Alcadius sometimes combos off with the other angels that we have and other things in the deck besides bigger angels than Ravu. And Starlight Strategist. But Alcadyus is really good second win condition to Ravu, because also Ravu being the blocker to save your things, and it can untap and stuff. And the reason for this deck that I thought about is Ravu. 2 Ravu has been keeping it for me because you have like tons of finishers in this deck, but I seem to be running out of Ravu in the end. So this could turn into like a 3rd Ravu, because this is like a 40 card deck, so, and it's a control deck, so it can resort to having a 41st, 42nd, or maybe even 45th card, 43rd card. So plenty of changes, plenty of additions to make, but the only thing that I probably add to this afterwards, even though it's done like really well, is a 3rd Ravu. Yup. But 2 Ravu has been doing it, especially when you have 2 out on the field and they tear up at 1, it doesn't even matter. And then we have 3 Stormspark Blast, because best light spell in the game, one of the only light spells in the game, unless you have to use like, I even forgot the card's name, but it's 5 mana Shield Blast that taps 2 creatures, I think. Yeah, that's the other light spell that's really good, I guess. But that sells it for this deck, really. Any questions that you have to ask, leave them in the comments. And if anybody doesn't know, this guy does, I completely forgot to tell you. His first ability, well, first of all, he evolves off Skyforce Champions. So yeah. And all of your creatures gain blocker, so that's like really well, because like you might ask why I have like so many blockers, and this is like 6 blockers only, 6 or 7. But then you have infinite blockers after him, and also your guys untap the end of the turn, which makes him like really good. It's so good. And yeah, he's a double breaker, so he's not a triple breaker, but I think that'd be really too good and stuff. But this is the deck. It's done pretty well. Its longest streak was about like maybe 3 or 4 matches, and that was pretty awesome. And it just does really well. Alright, then I guess like, comment, and subscribe, and I think I will talk to you guys later.